Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, July 30th, and the shop has been slow the past few weeks to the past month, but I've got getting some new activity in here now, and I've got a few other things I want to talk about with everyone, so let's get going. This laptop, fairly new Toshiba. It's probably about 2 to 3 years old. It's got Windows Vista on it. Came to me last night with the complaint that its owner was working on it and the screen all of a sudden turned white and then he couldn't get it to boot up again. Well, this morning when it came in, it started right up, and we were a little bit perplexed as to what might be going on, but then I was able to replicate the problem by putting it back asleep, and then I discovered that after having sat for a while, turned off, it started right back up, which is pointing me in a overheating direction. So I'm going to give the vents on the side here a quick blowout with compressed air and do the same with the fan on the bottom. This leads me to a very important point, which is this. Laptops should always be run on a hard surface. They should never be run on a couch, a bed, a carpet, or anything like that. And I'm going to show you why now. Right here on the bottom, I don't know if you can see it very well, but right here on the bottom, this round circle, this is the intake for the fan. If this is running on a soft surface, that intake will suck up anything you can possibly imagine and draw it into the heatsink, where it will proceed to clog up the heatsink. And it does not take much clogged material in the heatsink, guys, to make a laptop start overheating and doing all kinds of other weird things because things are simply getting too hot in there. So be very careful of that. Also, despite the name, you don't want to run laptops on your lap. The bottom surface of a laptop gets very hot, and I had a client many years ago suffer second-degree burns. Yes, you heard me right. Second-degree burns from running a laptop on his lap, playing games for an extended period of time. So the laptop is not a place for... Your lap is not a place for the laptop either. And for you guys out there, the heat from a laptop also has been shown to have an impact on our male reproductive organs. So you guys may also want to be aware of that as well. Then we have this laptop over here, which just came in here with a dead hard drive. And unfortunately, the owner of the laptop does not have his Windows DVDs, which are going to raise the price to fix the laptop by a little bit. This leads me to the point of most laptops these days, in fact most desktops even these days, don't come with operating system disks or recovery disks anymore. You have to make them in probably about 90% of cases. And when you do the initial startup of the machine, sometimes there's a program that nags you to make these disks, and sometimes not. If you're one of the people that's getting nagged by the program to make the discs, please do it. It will save you a lot of money if you have to have your hard drive changed and the hard drive cannot be cloned to a new hard drive because its condition is too far gone. If you don't have the discs, then you have to buy the discs, and depending upon the version of Windows you have, that could be anywhere from $90 to close to $300. So please make the DVDs for your desktop or laptop, and that will be a huge help to either yourself or your computer repair guy, or me, if it's me you're bringing the computer into. The other thing I'd like to talk about this morning is an extension of my previous video that I did last week regarding the differences between Litchfield County Computer and most other shops out there. Most of that information that I gave you was geared toward consumer interests. Now we're going to talk a little bit about business interests, and we're going to talk about medium to large businesses when I'm talking about businesses now. Most of your IT guys that work in medium to large businesses will charge anywhere from $120 an hour to $160 an hour around here. Some of them may go higher. This also includes if you need telephone support. The original IT contractor that did the original setup in my attorney's office here in Woodbury, he was actually from Bridgeport, and he charged $120 an hour, and this extended to phone support, whether my boss was on the phone with him 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, or 2 minutes, it didn't matter. If they picked up the phone, it was an automatic $120 every time. I actually had a question when I first took over the IT in there. I had a question about, a very simple question actually, about the way something was configured. I wanted to know their reasoning behind doing what they did. And my boss happened to be there one day, and I asked him if it was okay if I gave the original guy a call, and he told me no. And when he told me why no, I almost fell over. The fact that he was being charged $120 for what would have been probably an under 1 minute phone call had I gotten the correct person. That was absolutely unbelievable to me. The other aspects that other IT guys tend to do with businesses is they tend to lock them into service contracts. And the downside for the business being locked into a service contract is that oftentimes the service contract includes a retention fee. This is a fee the business has to pay every so often to keep that IT contractor working for them every month. And that's standard industry practice, but that's not what I do here at Litchfield County Computer. Here at Litchfield County Computer, I don't use service contracts. Biggest reason I don't do it is because the way I run and maintain people's computers and networks, they don't need me to come in there every 2 to 3 months just to clean off some virus that somebody picked up. I educate people to make sure that they can keep their computers clean after I leave. the businesses typically won't call me for anything for 5 months, 6 months, maybe longer than that, depending upon the nature of the business. So there's no need for me to charge a business a retention fee when I'm not actually doing anything for them, except just being on call. To me, I don't see any point in that. The second reason that service contracts tend to stink is they tend to keep you locked in as the business owner to the other IT company's high rates and retention fees and other problematic items, and you can't change to another company unless you terminate the current service contract that you have. So even though I charge a much lower rate than most other IT companies, they still can't use me unless they terminate their current service contract. It's actually very restrictive for a medium to large business to be involved in a service contract. I feel this is why I don't use them. I want to be as fair to my clients as I possibly can and keep their computers in the best shape that I possibly can, keep them in while keeping the client happy. I think that'll be all for this week. I will talk to everyone soon. See you later. Bye-bye.